Hello and welcome back to Euro Truck Simulator 2, and we're taking a Renault Magnum on a trip today. And we're heading from Norway into Sweden. This is going to be a technically challenging trip for a couple of reasons. One is it's beautiful, but it's also mountainous and lots of scenery to be looking at. And two, this Renault is using a manual transmission. Flick back into the cabin, I think. So under the hood today we've got a Renault MIDR 06 2465. That is essentially, kill some speed here, that's essentially the Mack E7 or the Mack E-Tech, or sometimes just called the E-Tech engine. Go ahead and go here, let's see. Start toll road or no? Okay. Bit of time pressure. I should say a bit of artificially induced time pressure because it's a World of Trucks trip. We reckon it's going to take us 8 hours 36 to get to our destination. And in this shift we've got 8 hours and 37, well now 36, left. So what that tells me is, in theory, I could get there at the very end of my shift and then likely get fined as soon as I step back into the truck to go off and drive somewhere else. Speed, David. You're speeding. That's very beautiful. But a little bit dangerous for me to be doing that. I'm also speeding. Now, as far as transmission goes, we've got a ZF16S or 16 split transmission. I'm definitely speeding now. And I may end up taking a night stop anyway, but either way. Yeah, so we have a 16-speed manual. That's essentially an 8-speed with a splitter. And it's a direct drive. So it's fairly short ratios, which we need for this kind of trip. And it's quite... whoa. Okay, I see why you did that. Yeah, so it's quite an involving transmission. We do have lots of gear changes to make, and if I remember correctly, this is the transmission where 2 of the gears are the same. I may be wrong in that assessment. We have a 3.1 final drive, and that means that at 90 kilometers per hour, the engine's turning over at about 1450 RPM-ish, give or take. Wow. Okay, one of those trips then, is it? Yeah, I think right there. Maybe 5th and 6th are the same. No, it looks like 7th is actually lower than 6th. I have double-checked my numbers when putting together this transmission. I've had this in the Steel Productions engine pack for a time. They are accurate. It is the way the gearbox is designed. Now, if you have some insight as to why that's the case, please, do let me know in the comments below, because I am kind of curious as to why that would be. I mean, maybe it's a commonly used gear for certain speeds, and maybe the designer's concerned that one gear's going to run out, or wear out, so you have another one. But I don't know. It seems a little bizarre. So really, it might just be a 15 speed. Either way, we do have a quoted 16 speed transmission under the cabin, because it's a Renault Magnum, one of the first trucks to have a flat 4. And it's mated up to a Mack E-Tech engine, or an MIDR 06 2465, if memory serves me correctly. Now this is a 12-litre engine, and essentially it is, well, I don't think it's exactly the same as the Mack engines, but it's very, very similar. It's a liked engine, it's well respected, it has reasonable output, and likely it's tuned a little differently for the European market versus the American market. It's fun to poof around in. This particular version is the low point of the range, the entry-level one. So we have 390 horsepower and 1849 pound-foot of torque. So that's something like, it's less than 1400, no, sorry, 1849 newton meters. It's something like 1375-ish foot-pounds. So it is the baby of the range, and that's one of the reasons why my gearing is kind of short. So at 80 kilometers per hour, at 50 miles an hour, we're doing 1300 RPM, get off the side of the road. This is where its peak torque is produced. So I've set up the gearbox so that we've got enough at the top end to allow me to cruise at 90 kilometers per hour or 56 miles an hour without speeding the engine over about 1500 RPM, which does seem to help fuel consumption. But at the same time, at higher speeds, let's get my speed down because speed limit changed to 70. At higher speeds, in the higher gears, we've got enough torque to hopefully climb some gradients at 50 miles an hour or 80 kilometers per hour. Norway likes to drop its speed limit 10 kilometers per hour for a tunnel or bridge. Okay. And I gotta say, given what its output is, and its torque is a little low, it performs okay. I mean, it's not exactly gonna blow you away, but it doesn't need to. It does have plenty of power, given its torque rating. It does need a few revs to perform, but coupled with the short gearing, and admittedly a lighter cargo today, what is it, 14,000 pounds? Yeah, 13,668 pounds of pickup trucks. And given it's a lighter cargo, I'm not having any trouble maintaining a speed along some of these gradients. But sometimes my right hand is busy changing gear. Stop snickering at the back there. I'm gonna do another seemingly rapid fire change of speed here. I guess we're supposed to follow this truck ahead of me. It's getting dark, so that's gonna potentially curtail the trip a little. Like I say, I do have the ability to pull over if I need to, and I likely will. Trying to not veer into the other lane here. The game is hitching a little bit with its running performance, but it's doing okay. Yeah, and again we're back up to 80 kilometers per hour without any real drama. And so, yeah, on these kind of roads so far, it's performing great. I don't need the 470 horsepower version. 390 with this cargo seems to be perfectly fine, which I might regret saying in a little bit. Why the Magnum? I don't know, I've had a bit of an affinity for the Renault trucks since I went back in and just tried the Renault Magnum a number of months ago now, because I'd kind of ignored it. And I looked into a bit more about the history, and I knew that there was a connection with Volvo and Mack. And I didn't understand at the time, well, Renault, see if I get this right. Did Renault buy Mack, and then Volvo bought Renault, I think. I may have that a little mixed up. But I suspect that's how the pattern went. And so Renault had access to a lot of Mack's fun stuff. Yep, this is what I want to do. Let's go down through the gears. Now I do have a retarder in this transmission, but old habits die hard. I'm still using the engine brake quite a bit. The fact I've got both is pretty useful. Okay, let's see if I can match the gears correctly, and see here it is pulling me around this hill and up this gradient, which is nice. Though I am doing 20 miles an hour, so it's not exactly a high speed. Get my gears right. What does it want me to do? Third gear? Maybe second? Yeah, second, okay. I don't have to stop here. I think I can get out in front of that blue truck. Yep. course, every time you slow down for a junction or a roundabout or something, you are eating into the time it takes. Yeah, so see, we've already lost 20 minutes on my trip, and I'm going to have to stop, I think, unless I get a fine. So I may well just continue this drive until we stop, but we'll leave that a little bit further. I don't want to stop right now and close it, because this time of day, well, it does kill speed very quickly with both the retarder and the engine brake working. Use your indicator, David. Okay, so I missed a gear change there, and I'm going to do that quite a bit. It's a little difficult to coordinate turning a corner, using my indicator and changing gear at the same time. And what I'm trying to do is lift off before I change gear. I figure that's how you would do it in a synchromesh, or indeed any car, any truck. But it's giving me a bit of a weird effect, so if I lift off now, the engine revs stay the same. Use my... Yes, Doug. Okay. Didn't bother to use my indicators there. Terrible, David. So this time of day can look very beautiful in the game, and it does depend a little bit on the weather. We've got quite a nice looking weather right now. It's sunny, it's not raining, and my hope is that it will look very beautiful as we descend into darkness. But sometimes when you go through a tunnel like this, certainly in the real world, if it's a long enough tunnel, when you emerge from the tunnel, it's already gone dark. And that would be interesting if that happens. Now we've got an interesting reflection on the windscreen, or windshield as well. Yeah, interesting. These little tolls so often. It's not as bad driving in France on the autoroute. So I enjoy how the Renault kind of feels and sounds busy. You seem to be always changing gear, always going up and down the revs, and that's something that I've enjoyed with a Mack as well. You don't get the same effect if you've only got fewer gears. Get off the side. Yeah, you don't get the same effect if you've got fewer gears. So a 9-speed would have been my default, but decided I'll go with a 16 just for a change. Speed limit bending here just to make up a little bit of time if I'm able to. Let's see if we can. Right, it's got my cruise up at 90 kilometers per hour, which is most definitely breaking the speed limit for a truck. But we'll see if we can get there. And yeah, we pretty easily. And there you go, 1500 revs. That's exactly what I wanted. And you wouldn't really need to go that much quicker. In the UK, you might want to go a little faster, or maybe parts of Russia. You don't need to go quicker than 90 kilometers per hour in ETS. And yeah, we are definitely breaking the speed limit. I'm going to get a ticket if I get caught. But I'd like to make up a little bit of time, so I'm not going to. I've got 20-something minutes to make up. That's very unlikely to happen, but hey, it's okay. Another toll. That's just disappointing. You finally get up to speed, and that's, I mean, I don't want to whine about it, but that's kind of how ETS feels. You get up to speed, and then you get a toll road, a toll booth. Oh, this looks a little narrow. Oh, I might regret doing this. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I was supposed to go down this lane. Right, is this car going to let me in? No. Oh yeah, he is. Okay, fair enough. And again, wow, cruise back on. Let's get up to 90 kilometers per hour. The engine's very happy to spin up above 1500 RPM. It's not shy of revving, which is, it's quite an engaging character, to be fair. Okay, get off the side of the road yet again. And I spent a lot of time in ATS and ETS2 driving around in the Packard MX series engines. And those engines, you can keep them at 1000 RPM, with the right gearing, and they're perfectly happy to do that. The downside there is you never really get to experience some parts of the engine range because you don't need to. And it does sound a little different when you're slowing down. Okay, so I think we're coming up to yet another toll. This must be the border crossing, I think, to Sweden. It doesn't look like I'm supposed to pull in there. I get an instruction. No instruction from the game, so just a speed limit change. Oh no, we are actually some way into Sweden now. Okay, well, my bad. We will, I'm sure, get a ticket at some point because the speed limit that's gone up to 80 again, but it was 70 for a long time. There we go. 400 euros. Okay. I mean, now we're slowly making up time. I'm gonna just keep it pegged at 90. Now, why 90 kilometers per hour? Because in a World of Trucks game, you don't get to go any quicker. You have a limiter. I'm gonna let this cop pass me because he's just gonna book me again if I keep at it. There we go. This is a Volvo Estate or a Volvo wagon. Quick sip of drink whilst I let him get ahead of me. Okay. So in the northern latitudes, sunrise and sunset last a long time. And depending on how north you are, your sunset basically doesn't really have much darkness, so maybe just a few minutes, then you go right back into sunrise. So it is 11:30 at night in the game right now, and this sort of this twilight. That's the reason why the Scandinavian countries have dipped headlight requirements. Okay, stay in your lane, David. So I enjoy driving this time of day, and in Scandinavia, I can do this the whole time. Well, not quite the whole time, but a lot of the time. And yeah, what's not to like? So, what else has been going on then? It's been a quiet few weeks on development for the Steel Productions engine pack. I'm going to try and release updates at least monthly now, unless there's nothing to do. So there's often a time when there's a little tweak or something I don't like about an engine. I'll go back in and I'll change it and I'll release an update. And it might be an adjustment of shift points or possibly clutch engagement torque, or maybe I'm just renaming an engine or introducing another series. And so at the end of September I did release another update, and unfortunately I sometimes get a few complaints when I release it. They're like, this doesn't work, or this is broken. And typically the reason why seems to be that the Steam client doesn't always update versions, I would say, so speedily. And if you're trying to convoy with your buddies, you go in and it looks like your version of the Steel Productions engine pack is currently, it doesn't tell you that there's an update waiting. Well, unfortunately, there may well be an update, and the cleanest solution I found is probably a way to force the Steam client to check for updates. But the cleanest solution I've discovered is just unsubscribe from the mod. But when you unsubscribe, let the Steam client go ahead and remove that mod. And this is true of all mods, it's not just mine. But let the Steam client go ahead and uninstall the mod. And depending on what needs to be done, that can take a couple of minutes. Once it's completely removed and uninstalled, then go back on and resubscribe to the mod, and it'll download it and it'll install it and patch it, and that can take a time. There are a number of files, quite a large number of files in the mod. And this may also be why the mod sometimes doesn't validate in a convoy. There are thousands of underlying files, and I don't know of a better way to give access to so many engines and so many trucks and so many transmissions too. So I do feel people's frustration, I do understand it, I experience that frustration as well. But unfortunately, there doesn't appear to be a workaround that I've come across. And so what I would say is, if you're watching this and you're already angrily reaching for your keyboard because you couldn't convoy with this double oceans engine pack, I'm sorry. I don't really have a solution. Is the reason why I'm sorry. I'm not sorry because it doesn't work, although obviously I am. And I do want it to work, but the fact that I can't fix it. Let's lose a little bit more speed, I think. It's not that I don't trust this corner, but I really don't trust this corner. I think I might want to shift down. Oh, I might be okay in this gear. No, look at that. It's alright, two under top. Like I say, I think probably the main reason why this thing's performing so well is because the cargo is light, but it is doing champion. And, oh yeah, my secret weapon, I have lots of lights on the front, so there's a lot of illumination there. Let's see if we can show that off. Yeah, almost. I am going to get back in the cabin. I can already hear myself rolling over the white rumble strip. There we go. Right, quick check on the time. Yeah, we're getting close to starting to yawn. Or starting to stop. I don't know whether I will or whether I won't. I think, well, I can't go any quicker. I can't save any time by going faster. So, I mean, we've made up 10 minutes, so we lost 20 minutes. We've made up 10 minutes through speeding. We've got a couple of fines, a couple of speeding tickets so far. That's 800 euros. How much do we get paid? Well, we get paid 39,000 euros for this trip, so I can probably afford a few more speeding tickets. I would just rather not upset the Swedes. But it does appear I'm not the only truck speeding today. It looks like there's a truck, or it might be a bus, in the outside lane that you can see in my mirror, and he's slowly catching up on me. Let's go ahead and merge left, although I got a feeling we're about to turn off here, and we keep going straight. Right. Wow, if you didn't lose a whole bunch of speed, just seemingly tapping the brakes right down into the 50s. And here is where I probably should have slowed down, or changed down even, just to help me get up this hill, but it's fine. We made it. We lost a little bit of time, but hey, it's okay. Let's go ahead and massage the speed. So we're turning right at the bottom and we're going down a hill, so just these kind of exits can be very unpleasant if you're pulling something heavy. As you pull off and you seemingly can't keep your speed under control down the gradient without skidding off, especially in the wet. That's never fun. I'm planning on stopping, yeah. Well, after this medium goods delivery truck. Lots of power to get me up to speed. Yeah, it's very keen to spin up to 2000 RPM. Now, how do I say that? Jonkoping. I don't know that it's truly said like that. Quick check on the time. We made up a little bit more time, which is nice. We've got 105 kilometers to go. I don't know if I can make up all that time in that distance. So, I think what I'm going to do is find somewhere to pull off. This might be it. Yeah, this may be it, I think. I really don't want to get fined for being out too late on my shift, so... Yeah, my driver's tired, I know this. Sorry, I just upset that Mustang. Nice colour. Oh, I like the colour anyway. Right, we're fine on motion lotion. We've got plenty of fuel. This does have a very big fuel tank. So we'll wander out here to the right and we'll find somewhere to take a break. Oh, look at this. Beautiful. No one's going to steal pickups, right? I mean, they might, but... Okay, so... I'm going to assume that we're good. Yeah, we are. To stop. We'll actually pull into one spot as opposed to taking up two. Second. Are we there yet? Almost. Okay, there we go. Oh, it's just two pickups. Okay. Wow. Well, I thought I had more than that, but okay, there we go. Okay. Well, I think that just about wraps up today's video. So, thanks so much for hanging out with me. I hope you got something from this, and I'll see you the next time. Goodbye.